we'd like to do and where we're going, and then we'll have a performance by these beautiful ladies next to me. So Life is Art started about 8.5 years ago when a few of his friends got together and realized that artists really needed more opportunities in Miami to exhibit their work. And so we just decided to do it. We were just regular folks, didn't have a lot of connections, grabbed a space from Mr. Lombardi and held an art show, and it was fantastic. Our plan originally was to do 3 shows a year. The first year we did 15, and we quickly realized that there was more needed to be done than just doing art shows. So we started doing educational programs for artists. We started working with other organizations. Actually, our first show is the only show that we have ever done without collaboration of another organization or another entity. So we do a lot of collaborations. About 3 years ago, after many years of experience and research and study in the business that we were in, we decided that it was really time that we needed to grow our organization, because the amount of impact that we felt we could have was much greater than what we were having, kind of scraping along by tooth and nail and blood, sweat, and tears. So we brought on some consultants and did SWOT. Everybody's been through one of those. We brought on another consultant who's here tonight, Tom Schramm, who's helped us a lot in visioning our growth plan. And now you're here. Our organization, as David said, is really all about bringing people together. We're not just an art organization, and I don't say that in a way to say just. We're not simply an art organization. We're really a community development organization, and art is our tool. Art is our methodology, because we find that art cuts across every line that there is, and really can speak to every person. So in doing community development, we look at economic development, we look at social development, cutting down on silos, providing voice to the voiceless, all of those things. Whenever we create a program, we look at all of these different aspects, and then we tailor the program just to that. For example, one of the programs that we currently do on a small scale is called River of Art. And the reason it's called River of Art is because it started in the River Lounge, which is just down the street from us at the Epic, when it used to be called the River Lounge, and it was by the river, and we loved the name, so we just kept the name. But it's a pop-up art show series that we've been doing for all 8 years, basically since we started, and we take it all over the community. And the idea is to get the art out of the art institutions, the galleries, and the museums and things like that, because we want to bring the art to the people, and the people to the art, so that we're developing a larger audience for the art. We're taking away that kind of nervousness that some people have. Nobody in this room, obviously, but a lot of people can be intimidated by a museum or a gallery, or going to the mayhem that's Wynwood now. And taking it out of the core. We've done a lot of work outside of the core, and up in Opelika, where we love to work with Opelika CDC, over in West Kendall, just all sorts of different places. And so that program is not only about showcasing new artists, it's also about bringing new people into art appreciation. And also to cross-pollinate. I was saying, when we did the program up in... when we did the program up in Opelika, we had artists both from Opelika and just from the general Miami-Dade County. And we brought together an audience that was both from Opelika as well as from the downtown area. So it was their locals plus hipsters and all sorts of different people, and it was great because they all came together in one space. And so a lot of our work has to do with that. After we spent 2.5, 3 years doing this strategic planning and visioning, we've come down to 3 main areas that we work in programming. One is presentation, and so that's going to be about putting on shows. We put on a lot of shows. We're multidisciplinary, so we put on shows of all different types: music, visual arts, whatever, poetry, so that's our presentation branch. And then we also do education. And our education is a little different than a lot of arts organizations because one of our primary educational lines is about teaching artists how to do the business of art. This started very early when we first started our programming 8 years ago. We quickly realized that artists had no idea how to sell their artwork. A lot of them didn't even know how to hang their artwork, didn't know how to present their artwork, didn't know how to talk about their artwork. So we've done a number of seminars about the business of art, and have helped a lot of artists become more savvy. We knew many artists who were getting ripped off, and now we've sort of taught them how to negotiate a contract, things like that. But we also want to start doing education for collectors, because we have a lot of young millennials in Miami that don't have a lot of experience collecting, and so this is kind of a new program that we'd like to spearhead as we grow, but to bring younger collectors together with older collectors, and so that the more experienced collectors can talk to the younger collectors and talk about how they've developed their collection of art, and give the younger collectors more confidence in terms of buying art, so that they feel like they're buying something they love, something that maybe a value, whatever their goal is, they understand that better. And then just to bring together some critical talks about art. We don't have a lot of those in Miami, and the ones that we do have tend to be a little siloed. And so we'd like to bring together like a room like this, and go over and talk about maybe a current exhibition that's going on in Miami, but talk critically about art. Miami doesn't do a lot of that. There's a lot of talk about the fact that Miami doesn't do a lot of critical speaking about art, but nobody's done anything about it. So that's one of the programs we'd really like to do. And then our third department is facilitation. We do this a lot, and it's just kind of come up as something that was necessary because nobody else was doing it. We have a lot of people contact us from all different parts of the community, whether they're other nonprofits, businesses, municipalities, to ask us to help them bring more arts into their community, because it's becoming very clear, I think, in Miami now how art can help build a neighborhood, build a community. Happened in South Beach and the Design District and Wynwood, all those places. And so they understand that they're not necessarily experts in art and how to do that, and we are experts in that. And so we've had a lot of people who come to us to talk about that, but we really want to formalize that program now, and not just wait for other people to reach out to us, but also to look for opportunities to reach out to municipalities or big businesses or other nonprofits, to talk about how we can incorporate art into their programming. I've had a few conversations with the Children's Trust the Homeless Trust, about how we might be able to incorporate art into their Homeless Awareness Day. So that can help bring that together. Another aspect of the way that we develop now our work is that big things make big impact. And so while we are a grassroots organization at heart, and we want to keep it local and keep it with the people, we also understand that big events make a big impact, and they also very much impact I want to say Weltanschauung, but nobody knows the word. The mindset of the community. You knew the word, didn't you, Bruce? Yeah, I saw that. And they're a media opportunity, and so you look at something like Sobe Wine and Food Festival, and you look at the way it's grown up, and the way that the foodie scene in Miami has grown up together. These big festivals, if you look at any city that is known for something, whether it's live music or barbecue or whatever, they have massive festivals based around that particular thing. One of our One of our particular ideas is around live music, because I think everybody agrees that Miami could use more live music. And does anybody know why local live music is so important to a city? Bruce, Ken, Manny. Exactly. It's a gathering of point around. Of course, the music talks to the soul of the city. It's created by local people out of their experience from living in the city, and then when you go watch it, it brings you together as a community. It's a way to cross those bridges and understand different areas of town and understand different people when you go see music from different areas of town. So it's a very important thing, and Miami used to be full of it, Miami used to be full of live music, and it's kind of faded out. So one of our programs is called The Soul of, and it's designed around promoting live music as well as cross silos, cross-cultural engagement. So it would be, like all of our programming, it starts small and then grows big. So it would be a series of small kind of American Idol style contests in different parts of town, Liberty City, and Opelika, and wherever, different areas of town. Hialeah, yes sir, yeah. And we worked with Hialeah a lot too. We love Hialeah. Miami Beach, of course. So it would be a series of these small American Idol style contests, which people love. American Idol. It's a well-known product, and those would then lead into, after a year, would lead into a major live music festival. And we do have some major live music festivals, but most of them, well, all of them are genre specific. So there's some great reggae festivals, if you like reggae, I love reggae. There's some great hip hop, techno, hip hop, but there's no real, like, just Miami music festival, right? That sounds like Paula, or sounds like Spam and Spam All Stars, or any of the local bands. And so the idea would be to create a major festival that has headliners in it, national headliners in it, to bring in the crowds. And this is a well-established.
Well, you have a lot of national headliners that actually
live here too. Absolutely,
so grab one of those,
right?
And you have it.
Yeah, they did something like this up in Fort Lauderdale with the Tortuga Festival, and they third year out they were
doing amazing.
Yeah, third year out they had 40,000 people showing up to their live music festival. So it's a big thing. We have the same thing. We want to do the same thing in visual arts. And then one of our new programs that we've developed on, this is it, and then I'm done, is called the Imaginariums. And one of the things that we've really been beaten on by the artists is the need for affordable housing. Artists can't afford to live in Miami. Well, I mean, nobody can afford to live in Miami, honestly. But artists particularly. And this is another common program in other cities. They have housing for artists, so we call these the Imaginariums, and they would be all of our programming is very multi-layered. So they're very specifically designed to house artists through cost support, scholarships, and things like that, to provide them with studio space, to create an exhibition space that could be used not just by those artists but also by the community, to create a garden within that, but more specifically to put it in an area of town where development could happen around it, like happened in Wynwood, where you had a bunch of artists come in and then all of the boutiques and everything popped up, except the difference would be Life is Art would own the artist space or would lease it long-term from the city. There are different methodologies for doing this, so that it would be permanent, so that the artist wouldn't be driven out by the high cost, because we would be absorbing that cost through our own fundraising and grants galas and whatever. Sponsorships and things like that. So that
Heineken and Red Bull.
there you go, Heineken.
Yeah.
so that around this artist community, you can have local boutiques and restaurants and all sorts of local businesses show up and benefit from the draw that the arts has, and create economic development within that area. And like I said, that could be in Hialeah, it could be in Opa-locka, it could be in West Kendall, wherever. But it's designed.
Are you looking for South Florida or Miami?
We're right now operating entirely in Miami-Dade County.
Because I'm thinking Hollywood.
Well, until
I know they're open.
We would love to go international, but we just need the resources to do it.
They would give everything.
Yeah. So that's it. And what we're hoping is, and then, like I said, that's a very light overview of what we do. And the problems that we face are very deep and very complex, and our answers to them are very deep and very complex. And I could go on and on, but I don't want to do that. What I would love to do would be, if any of you are interested in talking more about what we do and seeing if you might be interested in getting involved, we can set up meetings afterwards, and for the next few weeks I can come and visit your office, or we grab a coffee or a drink or something, and you can ask me all those questions, because we really want to be able to grow and do many more amazing things in this city. Thank you.